run across some other people, train them if you don't like them. You know.
Ben.
Excuse me.
Welcome. This is Pantheon Plus U number 65, and we are so excited to be here. I'm super excited about this dev stream. Very cool dev stream. We got all kinds of stuff. It wasn't a tech stream. It was a gameplay stream. We got to see all kinds of climate. We got to see weather. We got to see day night. Super exciting. So we will get to the community here in a second, but just so everybody knows, if you're new here, so we have a Discord. If you hop in the Discord, it's what we call the green room, and that means you get to be part of the show. We will drag you in here, and Nathan and Therek and I, we will talk to you, and it will be, and you can get your opinion out there for the devs that are in chat, and just for the rest of the community to hear. So make sure you do that. It's part of the fun. It's why we do this show, because it's not just about me, Nathan, and Therek. It's about the community, because community matters. So let's just get our stuff out of the way. What do you think of the stream, Therek?
Well, I was purposely keeping my expectations a little lower this time. Just, I don't know. I just kind of felt that was good for me, but I can't fight it. I can't, I'm my own worst enemy, but this was awesome. This is great. It looked great. I mean, this is visual eye candy for all of us, I think. And we're kind of teched out a little bit. We've had the tech talk, and we're feeling the world with this stream. I mean, there's just so much to talk about, and I don't want to get all into it right off the hop, because I just sort of, you see it and you want to pour over it right away. But man, it looks great, feels great. Immersion was used a few times, and I definitely I feel immersed.
We were definitely playing a drinking game of how many times they said immersion, and
yeah, somebody in chat said enviro porn. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I, for one, was also very teched out. I needed, not that we don't like the tech stuff, just that we'd had 3 or 4 or 5 or however many there were in a row, and just it I think it wears on you a little bit. But this is just gets the blood pumping again, gets the excitement going. You're just oh, now I want to play. This is super fun. So Nathan, what did you think?
Yeah, man, it was super impressive. I mean, I just it's that feeling that you want to have when you play an MMO that we don't get often, which is that I want to explore this place so badly. And there's with the environments, with they look really good. I think we got a little indication of the animation. We'll get into more of that as the show goes on. But the lightning, man, I just kept imagining you're deep in a forest. It starts raining. It's nighttime already. Maybe, Pantheon, so they get so in depth on some things. You never know. Maybe your torch doesn't work now, or it's flickering more because of the wind and the rain. And then the lightning hits, and you just see some very not good creature that's way too close to you that you didn't see because it was dark. And it's just stuff like that, man. Makes the world believable and fun and adventuresome, and just exactly what we all need.
Right.
Just the thought of that, just what you said, Nathan, there, just the thought of the lightning lighting up the sky and illuminating some creature off in the distance. I mean, that's why we play games, that's why we want virtual worlds, because that kind of stuff hits us in the feels,
We were looking at it, and I think Therek, you said, doesn't this remind you of EverQuest? And I'm like, dude, it totally reminds me of EverQuest. And what's the zone that has the stuff that comes out at night? I forget what the zone is.
Kithakor.
Kithakor Forest, where all the bad stuff comes out at night. It's all 50 plus. And go ahead.
It was the night shot. It was the night shot that really made me think. Before the night shot, I wasn't thinking EverQuest at all. But for some reason, that night shot with the stars, not the one that's on the screen right now, but there was one before where it was a bit darker and the stars looked a little different. For some reason, that really just it brought me back into that world, that the way that EverQuest pulled you into its world, and you were in their world, not your world anymore. And for some reason, that night shot really did it for me.
Yeah, chat says that Nathan's creating his own fog environment in his room there.
I'm working on it. I thought I'd have it done by now. It's taking longer than I thought. So Kudos to VR for getting that in the game so quickly. I've been working on this for years.
All right, so before we dive into the green room, we need to do just a teeny bit of house cleaning. So we have a couple of things going on right now with Pantheon Plus. So the first thing is we have our Pantheon Squares contest, and they said at the end of the stream, eminence is still the word, right? And so we at Pantheon Plus, we have put our money down, and we have said that means alpha in 2022. And so if you get 1,000 channel points, which doesn't take that long, you can, or you come into the green room and you are on the show, you can, both of those will get you a date guess. And then Deseren's going to write that down, and then he's going to get you on the board. And if alpha launches on the day that you guess, you get an alpha pledge. That's a $250 value. So super cool. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't got an Alpha Date Square guess in yet, you need to do that because it's, dude, you could have an extra alpha pledge, and that's super fun. Next thing is we also have our MMO RPG March Madness going on right now, and today is Final Fantasy versus Lord of the Rings Online. So if you haven't voted for that yet, especially if you're a Final Fantasy fan,
Yeah, you better get in there.
You better get in there because it's currently
Final Fantasy
losing.
14's, it's in big trouble. It's in deep right now.
It's gonna need a massive rally.
Lord of the Rings Online's pretty damn good. I mean, I'm not shocked by this outcome.
No, I wasn't either. But I thought it could be in trouble. I didn't think it was going to be the blowout that it is right now, though. All right,
we got our first Alpha Date Pantheon redeemed 1,000 points. So Alpha Date's confirmed.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, so
ready?
let's move on to the green room. So I'll hold on. I'll put the Discord in here.
Yep. So CripFox is in the green room. I know he's eager to come on because he messaged me during the stream. He just cannot hold back. So I think we need to bring CripFox on first. What do you guys think?
Yeah, bring him on.
Okay, CripFox, you're coming in. CripFox, hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up?
Going
a
good.
lot's up. A lot's up. What did you think? That was pretty. There was a lot to take in there. I know you're eager. You were messaging me. You're like, I gotta say something. So what is it?
Oh yeah. I was like, Therek, can I come in and play? Can I come in and talk to you guys?
Yeah.
But I caught the tail end of it, so I didn't see the beginning stuff. So while I've been waiting in the green room, I just went back and I started watching the beginning part of it. My God, man. the atmospheric effects, the way that I've seen trees like those ones in real life. It looks gorgeous. And the way the lightning strikes just illuminate everything with the backdrop like being dark, and the light from that lightning just shows everything up and then it goes away. It's just a gorgeous game so far.
And I know for you, you've been sort of reserved with your, like, you haven't been too not committed, but like directly like commenting on it directly up to this point. So for you to be like, for this to have made that impact on you, that really says something to me.
Oh yeah. Like it's just in my personality. Like, I like to see how things are going rather than speculate on things. That's kind of like, why I really haven't like touched on making any Pantheon content, because everybody's doing it and everybody's speculating. I like to see things. I want to be in it and be the 0 point perspective of what's going on. But it just looks great, man. I'm like even watching the stream now and like seeing the stars move across the sky. Like I have never seen a video game or MMO do that. So that's
Dude, I'm a sucker for stars.
Yeah.
Like I see these stars moving across the sky, and it makes me think back to when I was in northern Afghanistan with my night vision goggles looking up at the stars, and they're just like moving across the sky in like pitch black. This is gorgeous.
Right. No, that's pretty incredible. Yeah, I was gonna see, what you guys thought of the skyboxes, because to me the skyboxes, they're very noticeable, and they look different to me. I don't know what it is about them, but there's something different about them. I don't think it's the best skybox I've ever seen, but it is unique, and I feel like that um, it's got a lot of uh, customization to it, or something different about it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Mm,
Yeah, I noticed that too, and I was trying to pinpoint exactly what it was. The only thing I could really be like, well, that I don't think anybody's done it like that, was when they were showing the cycle rotation.
Mhm.
I did notice that the clouds, and I don't know if those are 3D models or what, but they got the glow of the sky around them some,
Mhm.
and it really changed their color. And there was at one point where you seen the nighttime sky with clouds as well. And if you remember that,
Right.
and
And
that
the
looked
sunset,
so
right?
good.
With the clouds. The
Yeah,
sunset with the
yeah,
clouds was
yeah,
cool.
yeah. And I think we kind of, whatever they've got going on there is whoever was behind the exactly how that went, that cycle, is obviously like um, a space fan, right? Because like there was just so much to the stars that's like, and then the way that the sun kind of flashes into the sunset looked insane. You know what I mean? I mean the sunrise, what I meant to say. It kind of flashed in, and it just kind of lit up everything real bright. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
I really liked what Joppa said about just on the immersion factor of the day night. Like, he was talking about how important that is, because that's a very like, sunsets and sunrises are very, um, emotional, not emotional, but a very emotion laden time of day, I guess you might say, for a lot of people, and that's when you feel things are a little bit more deeply, maybe, as a sunrise and a sunset. And I think that getting this right in an MMO is something that can goes a long way.
I
I
just wanted. Oh, go ahead, Draq.
okay, sorry. I just want to say too, like, hopefully this puts to bed the whole like, oh, it's gonna be Unity, it's gonna look like a phone game, and like it's gonna be terrible, and because they're not doing it in Unreal 57, that it's not gonna look good. Like this game looks good, and so I like. Hopefully the whole Unity thing is done now. This game
Yeah,
can look good in Unity.
yeah, and I think it's worth noting here that there's so much of they're not using uh all the pre-built Unity things, right? Like they have so much that they built themselves, like the network stack. I was talking about that on the show I was on earlier today. Like that's theirs, right? They're not using the generic one built into Unity. And the reason that Unity has such a bad rap, and it's getting better than it was when Pantheon first started, is just because you can just use everything. Unity has everything you need to do what you need to do. And so most indie developers kind of have to use those tools. And so we kind of see the worst possibility outcome usually when people use the Unity engine. Whereas, in my opinion, based on all the Unity things I've seen, and there's been some big titles that used it, but I think Pantheon's doing the most impressive thing with this engine we've ever seen.
Yeah, just piggyback on top of that, Nathan. Like, I don't know if you know, any of y'all noticed it, but have you've played other games where you're out in the environment and everything either looks very bright or very dark, whether you're under or outside the perimeter of a tree. Like just looking at some of the footage that they showed, there are breaks in the shadows on the ground for where the light goes through the trees.
Mm-hmm.
That is how strong of a graphical representation they're doing here. I don't know if anybody else picked that up, but I saw that right away.
Nice. I didn't catch that, but that's an interesting thing, and I think this is the kind of stream and the kind of video that you go back and you need to watch it 3 or 4 times to get all the little details out of it and pick up those little nuances that may go unappreciated on your first watch. But that's really neat. It's neat that you noticed that, and I think that a lot of people will find those little things that speak to them. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on. Anything else, Crip, that struck out to you?
I just loved how the difference in the the day, the night, as well as like the humidity in the air, creating all the fog and the rain and the blowing of the trees. I think they could maybe dial that back just a little bit. I felt like that they were dancing just a little bit too much, but
Mm.
I was pretty freaking stunned by
Well,
everything I saw.
I think they said that was partially because of the time lapse.
Yeah, I wasn't sure which shot they were referring to when they said that was time lapse, because I like the one at the end that clearly was the case, but like the one that's on the screen right now, I don't know. Like this shot is definitely time lapse, but the one where the guy was running down the path, I don't think it was. I assumed it was just a really violent storm, like the kind of day where your garbage cans are blown down the street when you get home at the end of the day.
Yeah, the scary kind of storm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Right on, Crip. Yeah, don't be a
Dude,
stranger. Come
That's
back
awesome.
next time.
So,
Always.
if you guys don't know, CripFox joins us for the MMORPG 101, and he also streams himself. So make sure that you go check him out. Twitch.tv/CripFox.
Thank you, guys.
Right on. See you, dude.
Later.
See you.
All right. Next up in the green room, let's go with Idiotech. We haven't talked to them in a while. So Idiotech, see you there. You're muted. If you want to unmute yourself, we'll get you on the show as soon as you do. There you go. Okay,
Idiot EQ. I'll use his correct name.
Idiotech, not Idiot EQ. Idiotech. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
It is I, Idiotech.
It is I. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm doing so well. Yeah, I was
Good.
able to catch the whole stream, so it was exciting.
Right on. What
But
did you like?
I thought it was the whole stream, and then I was like, "Wait, you guys played something in the first 2 minutes that I missed?" And I got to catch it at the end. So
See, that makes me feel good because they asked which one to show, and I'm like, show that intro one again, because we didn't know what we were looking at the time, right? So I wanted them to show that very first one again. So
It felt like it was an accident, didn't it? Didn't it feel like we weren't supposed to see that yet? And I was like, oh, what are we seeing here?
I totally thought that too. I thought it was like, oops.
It was like one of those like Saturday Night Live cold opens where it's like you're just sort of looking in on a scene that's not really supposed to be seen.
yeah, it was the whole episode's content just playing out before,
that's right.
before they could explain it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I feel Therek, you said it right off the bat. You were like, I feel like when you watch a stream like this, you just want to like word vomit. And it's but one thing I thought of immediately, and I hadn't felt this way. Not that I didn't think Pantheon could be this, but I hadn't felt that way until tonight. Have you guys ever seen, or rather, I'm going to take it back even further. We used to play Halo, and I remember they had this one comedy channel that was called Red versus Blue. Does anyone know what this?
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
And I remember thinking, oh, this is so hilarious, like a world, and they're like building characters and stuff like within the game, and it was funny back then. And now there's someone I've been following for a few years called I think it's Neebs Gaming, and they do it with other games like Conan Exiles and things like that. And immediately when I saw that, I was like, oh, Pantheon would be amazing for creating content like that.
Wow, it really would, especially if you you know how you could tell a story like within the game, right? Like you could get different players to play different characters and kind of act out different things.
100%.
It'd be a dangerous game to do that in. But it'd be cool. But it'd be really cool. Yeah. That's really
another
good.
thing I love is all the improv comedy that's out. And I just feel like, if you improv the story based upon the way your night went, you could even take footage. But that's a testament to how I felt just being there and listening to like the wind, the rain, and feeling everything. I was like, whoa, this game really just took a whole new atmosphere that we all knew was there, but hadn't seen all the pieces there. And I can see why, they're all excited. It definitely plays in.
Yeah. It's easy to hear the hype, and then you see it and you're like, okay, now I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
You putting it out there. You have to keep in mind too, like I always try to keep in mind that this is just one piece of it, right? Now you combine this world that we're seeing with the class design we've seen, and then you take that piece and combine it with the lore, and then you take that and you combine it with, you know, the community that's already formed around this game. Like, it's all these things are going to be, they're great pieces on their own, but you combine them into this massive thing, and it's pretty, you know, the potential is so high when you've got this kind of, you know, level of detail going on.
Yeah, the world felt dangerous, even though there was nothing really around, right? Nothing, they didn't show any combat or anything like that, but for some reason at night, I felt uneasy, you know, watching them pan through. So, yeah, and I think, you know, the last thing I'll say is that what I feel like I am excited for in this game, and I won't call out, I've tried to play a new game recently, I won't call out what it is, but at one point while playing it, I just got to a point and I was like, oh, I don't want to invest time in this. It just felt sedentary came to mind, but I don't think that's like the right word, but it just felt like a pit to nothing. And I would want to spend more time just literally running around what we just saw than I do in modern games now.
I mean, I'll say it. I mean, when you're saying that, I'm thinking of Lost Ark, because that's what we're playing on Classes 101 right now. And
yes,
you know, I can't help it, but that is exactly how I feel with that game, and it's such a polar opposite of how I will feel when I'm running around in this world.
Yeah.
It's not even in the same galaxy, right? It's not even the same universe.
Yes, they should both exist, but you know, going into that, it just solidified. Oh, I don't. This is what I want. What we're watching right now. So yeah, it's just dope to see it. I appreciate you guys, you know, having this as always, so we can come and talk about it.
Awesome, man. Thank you always for coming on.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, always fun to talk to you, dude. And we'll see you next time. All right.
Pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
You.
It was great. I love talking to that guy. All right. Who do we want to go next? Let's go with Brixton. They were in the green room, I think, next. So, Brixton, if you want to unmute yourself, I'll bring you on to the show. And as soon as you are unmuted, we'll pull you in. There you go. Okay, here comes Brixton. Hey, Brixton, how are you?
Hi, thanks. Great. How are you?
Really good, really good. What's on your mind?
Well, first time here, so I want to say I've been watching for years, and it's been great. So it's hard to be here when we live in Europe. So
you're not the only one. Yeah, we have a lot of folks that are in the community that are on European time. And I know, and even Australians, you know, when the rewind, sometimes it's hard for people to stay up and listen. But yeah, I really, it's great that you're able to join us, and welcome for your first time. That's I know you've been in Discord. I think we've spoken maybe in Discord a couple times.
Yes.
But first time doing voice, so welcome to the show. And so the stream, yeah, you got to watch it, you got to check it out. What'd you think?
Yeah, well, I loved it, and first off, I would like to say I really recognize the place. I mean, we've seen Thronefast a lot of times now, and it looks like Thronefast. We can recognize all the spots. It just looks right now. I mean, it just looks the way I think it was always supposed to look, but it's the same place. So that's comforting to know that it is the same place. They used all of the same things.
Yeah, the way it's been described, you know, the way that it's been talked about in whether it's in the lore or in the, even going back to some of the older videos, you know, there is you can see the roots, you know, you can see the development from that stage. But Draq, Nathan, what do you guys think about that?
It gave me that very Farenthal feel, right? Where we saw the art first and then we got to see what it turned to in game. Well, this is like better because we've seen like stages of Thronefast, right? Where first we saw the concept art and then we saw kind of people running around in gray box, and now we got to see like the whole thing. So that's just super cool.
Yeah, and there is I think, you know, we got to see Thronefast a long time ago. Remember they did that video where it was like the making of a city or something like that, and they showed it off, and so the visuals are still similar enough, obviously, to where like Brixton said, where we can notice it. And you know, Thronefast is gonna probably be my home starting city because they still haven't announced Dark Myrrh as being able to be a paladin yet. So it's very possibly going to be where I start. So I already consider that my possible home until I'm told otherwise about Darkmar.
Nathan, I think the Archive Dark Lord is still open for you. I think that's going to be an okay thing for you to come over and be with me.
No. Yeah, we did see a paladin in the stream. True, Des.
Brixton, are you planning on playing a human? Is that why Thronefast is familiar to you, or is this just something you've just noticed in the past?
I don't know yet. I mean, it's way too early to decide.
That's fair.
Did you guys see that? Ronak did that for me. Sorry to interrupt. Ronak did that for me. Thank you, Ronak. I love you, bro. I'll pay you that money I owe you for doing that.
Nice. Favors from Ronak. Right on. Yeah,
it's just important to notice that it's they actually converted all the assets instead of rebuilding anything. I mean, we can recognize the plus. So that's nice to know.
I especially like the shot that's on the screen right now, like the braziers hanging from the sort of the lion's head ornaments. I noticed them from a distance. Like they're so noticeable from far away that when you're coming at this place from a distance, Joppa talks about it. He said it before, like this, another shot that really represents what I'm saying here. That sense of arrival, I'm arriving in Thronefast. When I see the braziers on the bridge, I know I'm safe, or I know I will be safe soon, like that feels good.
You know what I just saw though, that I just noticed? They're not moving in the wind.
Braziers? No, yeah, you're right. They're not.
Shouldn't they move in the wind too?
Well, they might be pretty heavy though. I mean,
Are you trying to delay the launch of the game just so you win the squares? Is that what you're doing here?
I don't need brazier movement to move forward with the alpha launch. Okay, I take it all back.
Right on, yeah, no. Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. So anything else, Brixton, that stood out for you?
Well, the sound design was promising, and I noticed there was wind in the microphone, which is a little bit odd, but it was great. Yeah,
I noticed that too. Actually, that sort of sound of the needing a bit of a sleeve on the microphone kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. That was a little bit weird, but it was a nice effect, and the crickets and the lightning and all that was great.
Mm-hmm. I hope that stuff I hope that's just all that's in game, and that all that sound design translates into the game, because we've seen that in past streams. I've noticed that as well, and it's always, for me, ambient sound like that goes a long way.
Yes.
Yeah, Bronson said that some of the ambient sound was actually not the wind, that was just minus breathing heavy. So,
we've heard that before. He gets excited, and he,
Minus looked like he could barely contain himself that whole stream.
Oh yeah,
he looked like he was about ready to jump out of his skin.
This is true. Right on. Anything else, Brixton, before we let you go?
I think that's the important stuff.
Right on.
Good to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Hopefully,
thanks for coming on.
Get another stream that's a little more friendly to your time zone soon.
No, I don't want that.
Oh, come on, we got to help our European friends out. We can't do it all on North American time here. Take care, Briggs, and we'll talk to you later.
Later, man.
Yeah. Later.
Okay, that was fun. Let's see who's next. How about Toast Sniffer 187? You want to bring him on?
Yeah.
This is your buddy Draq.
This is my boxer buddy.
Your boxer buddy. So Toast Sniffer, you're coming on the show. Hey, Toast Sniffer, how's it going? Toast Sniffer's quiet. He's not sniffing any toast.
Not hearing anything if you're talking.
Okay, well we'll pop you back in the pop you back in the green room. Come back.
No, I wanted him to talk. I was hoping it turned out he wasn't Toast Sniffer. He was something else. I was hoping so bad. Like, no, you're reading it wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I only read that one way. I don't know what you're reading there, Nathan. But
I'm trying.
Getting creative. Well, how about we go with Man of Rohan? We know that he's good to go with the microphone. So how about Man of Rohan? Unmute yourself, undeafen yourself there.
Skip twice if you're there.
There you go. Okay, Man of Rohan's coming on. Man of Rohan, hey, what's up, buddy?
Man of Rohan's having a good day because Lotro's winning on the MMO March Madness.
Who do you think
Well,
brought the army? It was this guy.
I don't. I need to quit. The thing is delayed, so I got distracted. Sorry about that.
That happens all the time.
So I don't have a lot to say except that I was really. I'm going to say what a lot of people probably are thinking, who are old like me and remember their first time in EverQuest or something nearby, where you really did feel, even with that tiny little 4-inch box on the screen, that you were actually in a world, And recently playing Elden Ring, the graphics, yes, great, wonderful. But what really impressed me so far is that I was running through the forest and I had no idea there was a dude right next to me, and he just killed me immediately. Right? It was the very first little forest that you run into, no idea. And so when I'm seeing all of these images and I'm seeing or not images, but walking or flying through or running through and seeing the lighting so dark and imagining the torches or whatever you might see or might not see and how that might affect your sight and imagining enemies and all of the possibilities of that, just very exciting and looking at the materials that are being shown on with the lighting makes an enormous difference in any sort of game. But it's looking at the must have been brass or gold on the bridge when he's running past, when the dwarf is running past, and you just see the luster, barely a glint of that because of the moonlight. And I've said it before, but the amount of attention that they've put into things like that is just ridiculous. So.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned lighting. It works both ways. The mist. I give a good example of what you're talking about there with the mist. Nathan, you had that short of you and the bear in Elden Ring, right? Remember, you didn't know it was
Yeah.
a bear. You thought it was, but you
Thought it
were
was a
hiding.
rock.
Yeah, it
I
was.
was looking at a bear behind the bear, and I hid behind a bear to see the bear. Yeah, yeah. It was
Right.
very foggy like that. Yeah.
So the mist, and the lighting really, can impact your gameplay. And all these graphics, all the things they've shown is it impacts how you play the game. It's not just eye candy. It actually changes how you play the game. I'll give you another example, and we haven't mentioned it yet, but the water, right? Joppa talked about the volumetric lighting, how it was darker in deep spots and lighter in lower depths. That's important, right? Like that changes how you play the game. I mean, if you're a Darkmer, I guess it doesn't matter. But if you're not an aquatic race, you better. That lighting can really impact things. So, yeah.
Can
Great
you
point.
imagine trying to pull through that fog? That would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to pull back to your group. Well, I can't see the mobs, and all of a sudden you have like 2 groups of mobs instead of just like the one that you wanted.
And they talk about things mixing a lot too, right? So, like fog plus night. Like you got a fog, rainy night, right? Like so. I mean, dude, it could get to a point where you're like, you know what, guys? I see a little cave. Let's see if it's safe to just duck out there for a minute and wait for this weather to pass. I mean, that could be a thing.
Well, and someone mentioned if you, in the chat during the stream was talking about getting out of the lightning because you're in plate armor, and I thought that was perfect. I thought you do what you got to do. Like, what if you were actually there? And that's what excites me mostly about this game is like I have to think about what if I was really there, not just playing a game. What would I need to do because of the danger? Granted, I don't I don't think it's going to be Elden Ring danger, but because that's just another level, and that's just kind of the shtick of that in Souls games. But this, having to plan out my trip from Thronefast to wherever, having to plan those things out is super exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
and probably really frustrating, but
and we were talking about it while the stream was going too. But remember, there's that. Because remember, a long time ago, they showed us the lightning animation, and then they showed us the lightning animation hitting like the puddle, and then like and they were talking about how we were gonna have to like dodge the puddles, because when the lightning hits them, you're gonna take damage while you're running around in this like lake puddle area. So that's gonna be super cool.
Yeah, this lightning was different though. Like this was more like sheet lightning that covered the sky and lit up the clouds. And
Right.
whereas what you're talking about, Draq, was more like direct, like lightning strikes and stuff like that. So it's interesting if those both coexist, because we didn't see any of those types of strikes in this demo. We saw the sheet lightning lighting up the entire sky and that kind of thing, which to me is more of an atmospheric thing rather than a danger thing, right? So and Man of Rohan, what you were saying about the plate armor, it makes makes me think of Breath of the Wild immediately,
Oh, yeah.
right? If out in the lightning storm in that game when you're wearing anything metal and you get struck. Now,
Yeah.
they're not doing that for Pantheon, but
Right.
it's one of
I
those
hated
considerations.
that, to be
I
honest. I really
hated it too.
really
Yeah, I
pissed me right
absolutely.
off.
I hated
Yeah.
rain, period, because of the climbing. You had to climb
Yeah.
so much in that game, and then if it was raining, it would always rain right when you have to climb something. That really made me angry in that game. Now, if it was an MMO and I was playing with other people, it would be different. It kind of changes
No.
the dynamic. But when you're by yourself and you're just like, I'm going to go to this place right now and do this thing, man, that really made me angry when I couldn't climb.
Yeah, Joppa, don't do that in Pantheon. Please don't make the walls
That
slippery when
slip
it's.
it.
No, I can't take it.
Not fun. Forget about immersion. It's freaking fun.
Well, but I think that in a game like this, it wouldn't be like that's my only choice is to climb up and to get struck by lightning. I can make a different choice to go around this way, or a druid can make me a bridge, right? I love that idea, right?
Yeah.
We can find a different way, or perhaps there's something other around the corner that is just as adventurous or whatever, so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I would just fun to chat, and I think that seeing something like this just gives me more fuel to be excited and happy that I'm being patient like others are, but this kind of patience is being rewarded in slow bits, and I think that's probably the best way to go. I wouldn't want them to say, hey, we're releasing at the end of the year, because if you do any development of software, I do, and if you do that, that there are so many things that have to happen to make something happen like this, especially when it's an enormous giant thing. So I'm very excited. So anyway,
you're in the right place then, Man of Rohan, because that is VR's modus operandi is to it's done when it's right. So yeah,
right.
no, great comments. Sorry, Nathan, go ahead.
Confirmed by Chris. It is climbability will be affected by many factors.
Many.
Weight,
Interesting.
slippery.
Proper weight. It's going to affect your climbing.
Well, that
Yeah.
only affects you, Draq, because you're the robber baron of Pantheon. Apparently,
I'm not deleting copper. Let's just get that straight right now.
The phase of the moon.
Some rogue is going to have to drag me up hills.
God, that is funny. All right, Man of Rohan, we'll throw you back in the green room. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks,
Always
guys.
a pleasure.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm told that Toast Sniffer has checked their microphone and it is now functional. So we're going to try sniffing some toast again. So Toast Sniffer, coming on.
Round two.
There he is. Toast Sniffer, can you hear us? Oh, no.
Give him a second. It takes a little while. We don't know how big the toast is. Just give him a second.
It could be like Texas toast. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it could be Texas toast. Takes a little longer to sniff.
French toast, perhaps. I don't think we have toast today. I think we're toastless. Okay, we'll put you back. We'll see about coming back.
This is a live show, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes we have connection issues.
Connection issues, yes. So yeah, Deseren's in the green room. He's been there since the start. I don't want to leave him for the caboose again because we always do. So Deseren, I'm going to bring you in now. Des, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, hey, sorry. Apparently I'm really behind here.
Behind on what?
He's working those Pantheon squares. There's a
Oh
lot
my God,
of
yeah.
guesses.
Yeah.
Draq's like, oh, it'll probably be pretty slow. And then like everyone picked dates that other people have already taken.
Well, I appreciate you keeping track of that for me.
No, that's all good. We just got one last one. Maybe he's not in chat, but Manus Sven or Manus 7, please like tag me in chat or something. Shoot me a message on Discord. I need a new date from you.
Nice. Well, you're working full time there, Des. Do you even have time to comment on the stream, or do you need to get back to
Well,
the,
I have
mod
some
duties?
notes. I have some notes as long as I don't get spammed with a bunch of new squares here. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not the last because I think you guys know what's coming.
No, I don't.
And
I'm curious.
it's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Because I'm sworn to honesty here.
Right.
So I want to get started with like the things that I thought were very impressive, because I don't want to sound like I'm picking picking on anything here. But I think you guys already mentioned the water. The water looks great. The darkness, it's very realistic, I would say. I love that. I really liked the lighting at night. Actually, I thought it was very like appropriate and real. That was very nice. The things I did want to touch on though, kind of have to do with styling. I think I'm still processing this, obviously, because this has just happened, and I've been kind of fanatically going through chat and everything. And I'm thinking there's something about the style of Pantheon that has either changed or has emerged over time that I'm just not the biggest fan of.
Art style?
Well, it's either art style or it's asset quality, and this is kind of another thing that was a little bit interesting in the stream, when Ronak kind of gave the typical preface of, well, not everything's, finished and et cetera, et cetera. And the Joppa stepped in to say basically like, well, I mean, we actually are pretty close to final. So this is pretty much it with some tweaks, right?
Well, there's been a couple of things I noticed in chat, and I think it might have been Chris Rowan that
Yeah.
commented that the mountains weren't weathered yet, or aged, I guess. So
Was that it? I was actually going through the VOD among all the other things right now, trying to find his response because someone said he responded, and I was trying to find it. But if it's about weathering, it's not really the thing that I'm seeing, I guess. And
Right.
what I'm seeing is we've got all of these like fairly, I would say, like realistic fantasy kind of assets in the game. I think the characters are looking great. Some of the new animations are looking very fluid. I much appreciate that. But also, it's the texturing and how the texturing is working with the lighting. And when it comes to the terrain, if we see it on the screen at some point, I'll try to call it out. But you'll notice like the road texture seems high-ish definition. Maybe even has some parallax in there to make it look more 3D. But then you go off the road into the grass, and the mountains, and basically all of the non, or all of the, I guess, environmental textures like that. And they look almost like low-res paint. They don't seem to have much depth at all. They seem very flat to me. And that just is really clashing with kind of all the other really good things that I'm seeing. And my hope is that is going to be improved. But again, with kind of the back and forth with Joppa, I'm like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a design decision. Maybe they want it to look more.
And something somebody said in chat that I've noticed in, watching a game from a stream versus when I play it. Do you think some of that might just be the blur that streams cause? Because like picking up on grass and stuff is kind of rough.
I'm pretty familiar with that effect. No, that's not it. Because you will see that with anything aliased, like grass.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking. Deal. Right.
And it's not the stream compression. But VR just answered the base biome textures are placeholders. So
there you go.
Somebody else, I saw another comment in chat just about the color depth. Maybe that's what you're seeing on the rewind. Yeah. You use the term, reminded you of cell shaded type graphics where it's that flat colors, with limited texturing. But when somebody said color depth, I can kind of see that a little bit. Like there is maybe lack of saturation, maybe is what you're picking up
Yes,
on.
that's good terminology, Therek. Very
Yeah,
good.
and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, that, who cares, minute details, but it does matter, and here's why. Which we've already got the answer. That's placeholder, but I just want to say real quick that it does matter because Pantheon is, yes, it's an indie title and everything, but it's not a low quality indie title, right? Like
Yes.
it's not, I'm not going to name names and hurt somebody's feelings, but it's not like a lot of the indie MMOs you see coming out. This is being built in such a way with the systems, the complexity, everything that's going into this game to be a competitor in the MMO RPG space, not just some crappy little.
It's not a 2-person indie project.
Thank
Would
you.
Would you say they're punching above their weight?
I no, absolutely I would. I think they've been punching above their weight since they started, and that's why our expectations were much lower in the beginning. Because I mean, we just never would have expected that this would be what the game would look like, right? Or I never did. So I think they've been punching way above their weight this entire time. I think they're pulling it off, but it's crazy. It doesn't make sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody in chat just mentioned, I think, because that's relevant to what we're talking about, but the night shots maybe look a little more impressive because of that saturation issue or the color depth issue is at night, it's not quite as apparent,
Yeah, because you have less direct shading at night. And so the lack of parallax, the lack of depth is not as noticeable because you have less direct contact. So those shadows are less prevalent.
Right. Yeah. It's a good point. It's a good point.
But yeah, I think just knowing that helps a lot. Honestly, because for me, it's about consistency. And to me, I was seeing a clash between what seemed like a style that looked a lot more like other indie titles that are a little bit more on the oh my gosh, I don't want to say cell shaded, but not PBR or physically based rendering approach, and that was clashing to me with like some of these really great like Arbor assets and other things, and so it's good to hear that maybe that can change. Maybe that is coming later.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And as we go through the road, the development process and watch this game develop, I think there's a lot still to come. We haven't seen everything yet, and I don't expect we will until the day comes.
You rolled a nat 20 on your perceptions, so noticing that though.
I got. You know what I'm gonna say? Leave it to a blind guy.
Well, that's cool because I mean that's the epic thing about this show, right? Is there's all kinds of different people with all kinds of different backgrounds. I watch this thing and I'm just like, oh, pretty.
Well, yeah, and I gotta be clear. It looks nice. It looks adequate. Like I would be okay with it, but honestly, I'm planning on playing this game for over a decade. And we know it's going to look dated, and that's fine for a lot of people, but I'll admit it does have some influence on me, mostly just with like immersion, relevance. If I pop from a brand new title that is gorgeous and like realistic to an old title, there's a certain amount of immersion lost just by comparison.
Sure.
But yeah, I guess it's all backgrounds, like, and different people have different standards. But like I'm following all these wonderful like indie developers, shader artists, and like solo developers that are putting together this amazing art. And I'm just like, man, I want to just give them to VR. Be like, here's a dedicated shader artist, here's a dedicated VFX artist to just do the absolute best that this game deserves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We all want the best for this game. I think I don't think anybody would argue with that. So, but great points, Des.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Lastly, I just to respond to Mr. Chris Rowan here. Just I do agree that style is going to trump anything. So
Yeah.
I am glad that a style is forming, and it isn't exactly PBR, to be clear. But I very much love realistic fantasy, and it's why I fell in love with the original like proposal of EverQuest 2, until it started to like get a lot more to the not realistic fantasy side. But I adore the art direction of the pieces that I see right now that I like. But that's it. I don't want to take up all the time. But thanks for popping me in.
Right on, Des. Always
problem,
welcome,
man.
as you know. Talk to you later, buddy.
Later, Des.
See you guys.
Oh,
Yeah, see
Des,
ya.
I think you got to scroll up a bit, but I think Wizen put a square guess in there at some point.
Des is his
Get back on it.
rest of
Back to work. Let's go.
the rest of
Man,
his
Draq,
evening.
Draq cracked that whip immediately. Like,
Yeah,
okay, well, on your way out.
You don't know what it's like behind the scenes. Derek and I are like, oh yeah, we're great guys, and then behind the scenes, like, let's go.
Drac, don't give away our secrets. We're nice guys. We're nice guys.
The
All right,
wizard
so-
does not take excuses. Let's just put that out there.
He said, serve me.
Nor does the ranger. How about we bring in your buddy Drac? How about Diamlose come in to redeem you?
Yes.
So everybody, Diamlose is coming in. Diamlose.
Boys.
What is up?
Did you ever think 20 years ago, as we were playing EverQuest, that we'd be hosting a live stream and you would be joining it and talking to me?
With tens of people.
Tens to 20s of people.
Never. I just remember being in a very small room and you showing me this game for the first time and just being enamored by it. And tonight was a night just like that, I think. What do you guys think? It just was eye-opening how nice this could be in a very short time.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
No, for sure.
absolutely.
It was. I think it's a landmark moment.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I'm
Go ahead,
still
Nathan.
I'm still excited though for way down the line, right? Like way down the line, whenever the day may come that they release to us the classic gray box edition. Where we can go back in time and run around in gray box and all that kind of thing. I'm looking forward to classic gray box.
Can I get a gray box plushie, please? Is that possible?
Greybox is done. We are done with Greybox. No more Greyboxing. Please don't speak that name anymore.
Should I make a puppet that's a gray box? And
You should,
keep them
absolutely.
alive that
Dude,
way.
that is it right there. You need the gray box plushie. So, Diamlose, what was your favorite part of all the environmental stuff?
Well, before we get into that, a little bit of business. We know that I don't know what all these slackers are doing. You can say a date on this. Show. So at 10:26 for me. Deseren already has me, so sorry everybody. That's my date now, and thank you. But let's. What do you think about that cold open? What a great way to just start out a video. I'm just so excited about everything that was.
I agree.
100%. Yeah.
Mood setter. That's what that was.
Because it just put me into like the realm of what the heck is going on, and I was instantly just like sucked into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to know what was going on in that scene. I was like, what are they talking about? And like, what, where are they? What are they doing there? And I don't know. It's very interesting because it's the kind of thing that it was almost like random. It was almost like you would just come across this, if you were running around in the game. So
I thought maybe we were going to see like a perception dialogue or something. I thought it was going to be like, and it was going to say we were going to see it, right? But it didn't go that way.
Now I want to help them with the opportunity for next time, right? So you got this rain, you got this kind of somber, kind of like exciting, kind of we're seeing some rain, so there's going to be a little bit of environment. They're going to show us. There's going to be some video content here. We're pretty excited. But then if it would have faded into Minus wearing like a old wizard robe with a fake cheesy gray beard, and he'd have been like, "Welcome, travelers." I mean, that would have really I'm just saying, you missed a small opportunity there.
Straight from the DM of choice here. Yep. Man, I tell you what, have you guys ever been like scared of rain? Maybe not like a rainstorm, but like maybe one time when you were like driving on the interstate and it was raining really hard and you're just like, how am I going to make it home? I'm as nervous as I can get. It reminded me of early days in Western Karana, man. The rain starts coming down. You are scared. You may have something in your pants at that point. There's a bear coming after you. Man, I cannot wait. I hope there is some sort of like T1, T2, those towers that were hanging out there where people are just going to hang out and stop by and we can chat. And, I just think the social aspect of the weather comes into play with that. And I'm really excited to, build bonds over kind of waiting out a rainstorm or something along the lines of that. I just think there are so many great possibilities that just something simple as weather is going to bring to this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
The Karanas, that's funny you should mention that. I hadn't really thought of it, but yeah, no, it does remind me of that too. And it's like I was saying earlier with regarding sunrise and sunset being very, sort of deeper emotional connection. And I think rain like this or storms evoke that emotion too. And, it just puts you in a different play space in your mind, and you're trying to, whether it's dangerous or not, you just sort of feel a different way when you're just out and about in the world. And this is an MMO. This is a world. It's not a game. It's a cliche now at this point because we say it all the time. But that means something. It's not just words. It means something.
When the Pantheon thunderstorm hits, we all go into the tavern and play the Pantheon collectible card game. That's what.
That's
happens.
right. That's right.
Nice.
Pantheon gems.
Gems.
Gems. Pantheon gems. Going for that high score.
Diamlose, I know that you'll know what I'm talking about, but typically, like you'll be like Skyrim or insert any fantasy game. There will always be a mod made where it makes the weather cool, right? And I felt like this was what this is what somebody would have made the weather to make it cool, right? That the sound effects, the lightning effect, all that. It felt like it was like a really high quality mod that no way would the developers put something that cool in the game, right?
Man, I'm just so impressed by leaps and bounds this game has come in just such a short time, and this is I'm so happy. I'm super happy that I stayed and watched this thing all the way through, and you guys should be real proud of VR. Brad certainly is going to be real proud of this one. It just was a great step.
Yeah, I agree too. I think that's well said. It's again going back to those D&D roots. It's like you guys are talking about D&D and being able to create atmospheres and create moods. And Joppa talked about it on the stream. He said they can dial it up and down as much as they want for situations, for events, for somebody asked about the weather moving across zones and areas and stuff, and Joppa said that's something that they've thought about, that they want to implement, or they want to maybe go down that road, but they also have to be mindful of performance considerations and that kind of thing. But the point being that they realize how impactful this stuff is.
I can see
it
right.
Tip of the iceberg.
I can see it right now. I step this way, it's not raining. I step this way, it is raining.
Draq, there will always be a thundercloud over your head. I'm just saying.
It's gonna put out all that fire.
As long as I can still collect eggs to sell, I don't care.
he is the fire wizard. Yeah, right on, Diamlose. That's awesome, man. Anything else on your mind?
Man, I appreciate it, guys. The other thing I thought of that stream was just how beautiful that purple sky was. I just was stunned by how awesome that was.
Yeah, that was the scene I was talking about earlier. That was the one that reminded me of like dusk in Kinos, right? For some reason, that purple sky made me think of it. So
beautiful.
Great stuff. Yeah.
Coolio. Bye, boys. Good
show.
Diamlose.
See you,
Onward
buddy.
And upward.
Later, man.
Onward and upward.
Thank you.
All right, we are down to our last green room person. We have Tech Ninja hanging out. So, Tech Ninja, I'm going to pull you in. Hey, Tech Ninja, how's it going?
Gentlemen.
Hello, sir. How are you?
What is up?
Been doing very well. How about you guys?
Good. Can you turn yourself up a little bit? You're a little quiet.
Yeah, sorry. Is that better?
Sure. we'll listen.
Sorry, buddy.
It's all right.
I recently reformatted the computer. Things are a bit wonky with Discord. I've been having arguments with my buddy over Hearts of Iron for the last couple of days.
Yeah, that happens.
Zeroed it in yet. So one of the things that I felt the entire evening was world first, not games. That was the theme that I took through it, and it was reinforced. That was what we've always been told with Pantheon. It's that it's about the world and that eventually the game will come with it, which we're all hoping for, right? But we're
Yep.
making sure that there was a world to play that game in, and I felt it. I felt it coming in. I felt it coming in tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there was a lot of systems demonstrated that all sort of, point towards that goal. Grass moving when you ran through it, right? The water, which we haven't talked about a ton. The day night, the weather, everything, all these little pieces that all serve the same purpose.
Right. And in that remastered Throne Fast, it's confirmed not finished touches. You're gonna get weathering, you're gonna get more detail in terms of, topography being a little bit different here to there. That's what we saw in chat this evening. That's a privilege of being part of Pantheon Plus. You get that additional tidbit of information as you hang out and chill.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna go a little granular and nerd out for like a second. Tudor houses. I don't know if anyone saw that. And as you come across that water shot, what's up with that small tunnel? Therek, what's the name of that town? There was a stream way back when. I don't know if it was
Avender's Pass or Avalia. No, what's the name of the town that's right there?
Yeah, either Jopper or Ben died when they were playing a Dire Lord.
Yeah, I can't think of it off the top of my head either.
Yeah, no, me neither. Don't feel bad. So like I'm thinking, how are they getting in? They're crawling down into the water. They're going a little bit underneath. They're hitting the formidable foes. They're hitting that drainage tunnel. They're getting underneath and they're finding their next level spells. They're getting themselves through that town. They're figuring out their faction and how to get, maybe they want to get upstairs. And that's their way. They can get into the town and that's the type of stuff that I saw as you were just passing through. And then, the crafter and the trader. I mean, as you hit those docks, are those tents on the docks? Are they meant for me? Are they meant for characters in the game that I'm going to meet and hang out with? So my imagination goes. And what I have to say about all of this is that VR doesn't show us anything without being purposeful. They wanted us to see those things. That's what they focused on that as we went through. There's plenty of things for them to show us. That's what they showed us. So that's what they want us to talk about. That's what I supposed to say.
Well, in that's right. I mean, and we tend to, I think, notice the same things. Like, you see lots of little things that maybe a piece of information about from the lore, right? Like there's a cave, like in the shot on the screen right now, there's a cave on the right side of the screen that she's running by, right? So, and now our challenge is to try and figure out which path this is on the map. Look at that overhead map of King's Reach. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And I just love that. I love that kind of stuff, as I know you do too. And Ronik clarified it was Avalia is the name of the city. We were close. Yeah.
Way to go, dude. Awesome. I have to say that I was a bit disappointed that there were no NPCs anywhere we went. The sky made me feel alive, the wind and traveling through, but it's an empty world still. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I just wanted to say I have a disappointment in that idea because I know the system is probably there in the backbone, and maybe they don't want to show it to us quite yet. That's cool. I'm all right with that.
I wonder if they need the networking piece of it because they're tying all those NPCs to the network, I think. So I wonder if the network needs to be done for that before they start plopping down NPCs.
Yeah. And just reinforcing with this shot just right now, those clouds and that sky, effing awesome. I could just imagine like if I don't have somebody to summon an orb of light with me, and if I don't have my torch with me, something on that road's gonna eat me. They're going to.
We just had like 3 devs say that the NPCs are there. So that it was for effect that they killed to make the shots of terrain shots.
Cool.
I did see a raccoon. I mean, I don't know if anybody you guys caught it. There was a raccoon.
It was a big raccoon. That was a big raccoon.
It was a very large raccoon.
He looks like he was eating well.
Yeah. Somebody's been feeding well. Yeah.
Can't say that I ever recall seeing a raccoon in any of their dev streams before. So hey, at least there's raccoons.
I used to get harassed by raccoons. Ever tell you guys about that? There was a gangster posse of raccoons at this apartment I lived at, and they would rasp at the door at night And we used to know the exact time. It was like a certain time. They'd come in, they'd scratch on the door, and if you didn't give them a treat, a cracker, didn't matter, give them something, they would trash. All your trash would be laying all over the place.
Oh,
They would,
heck.
but if you gave them something, they were cool. They leave you alone.
I think he's
You had to
talking
pay your
about-
tax.
They're all like
VIP Discord right there. I'm pretty sure that's what he's
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the VIP Discord.
they're all like, yeah, your protection money is due, Nathan. Let's go. Fork it
Yeah,
over.
We had to pay our trash tax. That's right, the raccoon trash tax.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no. So the very last thing, and other than one anecdote coming out, so I saw that in the stream and during chat that we were going to get some sort of weather accumulation, so those mountaintops will have snow on it. That sounds pretty awesome. Having weather systems come through and accumulate and affect the world, that's awesome. And in that area, we need more loons. I need loon sound effects in the background with those crickets. Maybe some frogs too.
I thought you said moons there, Tech Ninja,
No.
and I was going to say we haven't talked about the moons that we saw yet either.
Well, yeah, no,
You're all over that. I know you know about the moons, so don't act like you don't. I know you do.
Well, there's not enough to talk about. They're just there.
Well, they have names. I'll have you know that. And
We're totally going to one of them too.
One of them has a very large crack in it. I'll tell you that much too.
Yeah.
And that's what we know. So we'll leave it at that.
Well,
yeah.
Luckland.
Yeah, it's Luckland.
Here's hoping we're all there soon.
Agreed.
Thank you very much.
Right on. Thanks, Frick. Thanks for coming on, Tech Ninja. We'll talk to you later, man.
Later, Ninja.
See ya.
All right, boys. That's the green room.
All right. Well, that was very exciting.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like there's still so much to talk about, but we'll have to find other forums for it. Perhaps join us on the rewind this weekend when me and Deseren talk.
We got to leave a little bit of meat on the bone for the rewind.
Yeah, I have a feeling we might be doing a bit of a longer show this weekend because there's a lot to still talk about here, and I've definitely got some points of interest that I'm gonna be adding to my notes. So Sunday at noon, YouTube, join us for the premiere.
All right. Well, I will as usual. I will download it. I will put it on YouTube. I have to wait 24 hours per our agreement with Twitch. But other than that, Therek, you got anything else besides the rewind you want to highlight for this week or next week?
No, that's about it. I just want to, boy, that was a fun stream, you guys. That was a lot of fun. We needed this kind of a stream. I feel like this feels like a bit of a water for the thirsty, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Nathan, you got anything else you want to talk about? Any upcoming stuff? Talk about your streaming with
Yeah, come watch us on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central on my channel on YouTube, where Ronick is playing through Dungeons & Dragons campaign that I'm the DM in, and it's a lot of fun.
Nice. And I am, of course, I'm streaming Monday nights, midnight Eastern Standard Time we have a EverQuest crew, Diamlose and I and some others are a part of that. And then, of course, there's Tuesday nights. We're doing Lost Ark, the MMORPG 101. And so, tune in for those. But other than that, we will see you in the Discord. Oh, Therek, you want to give us a MMO March Madness update real quick?
Oh man, I should go check it real quick. Hold on. So yeah, what's the latest? So today, like we said earlier, the bracket today was Final Fantasy 14 versus Lord of the Rings Online, and the current count is 26-8 for Lord of the Rings Online. So it looks like Lord of the Rings Online is gonna take this bracket, which means potentially they are matched up next, either against World of Warcraft or EverQuest 2.
Dude, that's gonna be such a big matchup.
Yes.
So, for those of you who don't know, we do a new matchup every day. So tune into the Discord tomorrow and then make sure you vote.
It's a lot of fun, you guys. We have a lot of chatter. There's a channel for Smack Talk. You can talk whatever smack you want. Whatever favorite game or whatever your game you hate, get in there. You can give your vote and then support it or not support the other game.
For sure. There's a lot of people just voting against the MMOs they dislike. They're not just voting for MMOs. They're voting against MMOs.
So,
so
I
true.
didn't see the finale. Who ended up winning between, because it was pretty tight, DAOC and Rift. Who won? I didn't see the results.
Dark Age of Camelot.
Yeah, Dark Age
won.
won.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was close for a while, but yeah, definitely DAOC came through,
Yep.
which
So
was good.
now it's got to go up against Ultima Online, and then EverQuest.
A DOC already kicked UO's butt back in 2001. It can do it again.
You might see history repeat itself. We'll see.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Wave bye-bye to the peoples.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming out.
Good night.